distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to given the opportunity to deliver the keynote address on the World Summit Forum 2018 in this nice capital of India. So I am from Sri Lanka, and about 20 years I am involving in this hydropower sector and water resource sector. So we have gathered a lot of experience handling these water resources in hydropower and drinking water. So, however, let me thank Dr. Anil Garg and his team for organizing this great summit and inviting me for a keynote address to India. Further to that, when we study the reports, when we listen to the great scholars, what we learn from them, and there is a message. What is that? It is alarming messages coming, because there is a scarcity of water in the world, and world is going to be affected by, say, 2050 or somewhere, because the world population is growing up. At the same time, the climatic changes are there. So because of these challenges, the human race, not only human race, we have to talk about the others as well, the other animals, all are going to be affected. So water is naturally occurring and we can't produce it. Availability is different from region to region. Climatic changes has negative impact on water resources. Demand is very high. Day by day it is going high. Again, the pollution also very high, so because of the pollution, we can't use the available water. Now, due to pesticide, fertilizer, etc. used in agriculture, we can't use some of the water bodies. A lot of diseases are there with the people, and now, kidney problems are very eminent in some of the part of countries. So, according to this map, so this is you can't see clearly, but it says about 5 deaths of children, but 1 is due to bad water problem. So again, 1 in 9 people worldwide does not have access to safe and clean water, clean drinking water. That is what it says in there. So again, the many graphs we show with the scarcity of water, that is true. So everybody is talking the same. That means there is something with this water resource. So this is again same. We are talking the same once again and once again. We are talking the same, because we are from different parts of the world, but all are sharing the same knowledge. So what everywhere it is telling us, water demand is going up. There is no enough water. Water is being polluted. So there is a very serious danger in front of us. We are living now, but our future generation must be safeguarded against water, because otherwise the animals, plants, and the human race will no more exist in the world. So, again, at this forum, this was not that much discussed. This is environment water requirement for maintain a fair condition of freshwater bodies. That is also we have to include in our discussions. Environmentalists always talk about this. So when we move on to my topic, it is water resource development. How should it be in future? So water resource management, it can be defined as planning, developing, distribution, and optimize use of water resource and define water policies and regulation. When we come to development, it is improving the beneficial use of water for human society. That is the definition of water resource development. We improve the beneficial use of water for human society. So actually, this is now we are talking about the present situations, and we are talking about the future, what we are going to do. So now this our India, Sri Lanka, in ancient times, we had better water management systems. About 1,200 years ago, we have our kings have built many tanks, and it amounts to 18,347 tanks in Sri Lanka. 50% of these tanks are still functioning. So if you look at this map, again, this is map of Sri Lanka. So this is dry zone basically in Sri Lanka. This is wet zone. So to handle the water resources this is getting rainwater only. No rivers are going this way and coming this way from the central part. So this area has no rivers, and this is dry. So this much of tanks had been built in the past. So these are actually not random, even though it looks like this, it is not randomly located and distributed. It is in the form of distinct cascades that are positioned within well-defined small watershed. So a tank in the upstream side get water, and it feed into a certain amount of agricultural area, then it goes to the next tank, the spill water goes to the next tank, it filled up, and like that, in that pattern, all the tanks had been developed. It is in India also, it had been done same time. In 2nd century of AD, this Kalalani Dam had been constructed, Anicut had been constructed in India. So India and Sri Lanka both, at the same time, we have developed in the past water resources, and because of these tanks, and thanks to the kings and other heroes living in these areas, we have our agricultural lands. So we have the paddy and other cultivation. So we don't feel that much of water scarcity in these areas. At the same time, job creation and etc. depend on irrigation is very good, and we have a stable economy with the 30 years war. Even we have a stable economy in Sri Lanka. So water resource development, present and future. So this is many speakers were talked about what we are doing now. This is again, I have put them together. So this is in future we have to have integrated water resource planning system. So actually, from morning to now, many speakers were addressing the same issues. The water resource development shall be linked to the National Development Plan, maximum use of available water. This is, we were talking over and over, that is comes under reuse of water, because we can't manufacture it, we have to reuse. Those are the things we can do, present and future. So at the same time, this concept of water resource development now treated as integration of different views, requirements and perceptions of individual or society affected by the availability of water, as portrayed below. So there are several people in the society. So there is an area which, that is people living in a dry zone. There are people living in wet zone. Again, these engineers, that is, they are trying to supply water for irrigation, drinking, and other purposes. They are environmentalists now, not like past. They are very strong. They have to look after habitat and pollution, deforestation, etc., to make a safe world. At the same time, economists are there now, not like when our kings are ruling, now everything counts on cents and rupees. So economics are there. So at the same time, there are several cross-border or within the country, there are several rules and regulation connected with the water. So these lawyers are there. So this all stakeholders has to come to has to look after, and their views has to be integrated. So development water resource need finance again. So now it is not easy to do a water resource development because financing is necessary. It is huge amount of money had to be invested. So that is the challenge future development projects are having. How we are going to fund this? What is the return of the returns of this investment? So that has to be looked into. That is why we are talking about cost of the water, market value of the water, etc., etc. Those are coming under future development. So we have to then, from the morning I heard some models to get the economic value of the water. So those things comes here now. It is part of future development. So tangible, intangible, all these cost, negative impact, everything has to be costed. The planning process, the characteristics of the river basins, all has to be studied and selected best development mix. That is being done actually in the world. Now it is being done. We have to improve it. We have to use it. That is where our future will be. Again, historical data is historical data in planning, historical data, that is rainfall data, river flow data, all these data worldwide. If we take India, I don't know how much reliable data is available, but in some part of the world, some African countries, even in Sri Lanka, when we want to do hydrological analysis, it is a bit difficult to find reliable data, reliable rainfall. River monitored gauge data. It is a bit difficult. So hydraulic engineers are having a huge problem in planning. So whatever we said and done here, if we don't have reliable historical data, so it is a bit difficult for us to get good output from these models. So this is also one challenge for our future development process. So again, water resource planning techniques can be used and they have to be improved. So one speaker was discussing some good models. That is what we need. We have computers, IT, GPS. All these techniques are available now. So we have to use all these techniques to get what we want, and we have to keep them improving. Allocation of water demand. This has to be logical and profitable. Now, for an example, the treated water shall not be used for industries. So that is one example. Former speaker told that is treated water. The sewage treated water is more economical than the other purified water. So then this allocation of water, some rules has to come. So then the rules has to come to use that kind of water for industrial use. So this is actually what we were talking, and piece by piece we were talking our future planning in hydro resources. At the same time, so when we look at this rainwater harvesting, here in India, I saw some rainwater harvesting, but in our country, actually, it is a cascade of tanks had been built. They harvest the rainwater. They hold the rainwater. So this is once again a good practice to use to store water during rain and to use them during dry period. So cascade of tanks is sometimes not like a bigger, does not give bigger impact, bigger environmental impact. So it is much better to use a small scale tanks system in a river basin. Then it is much easy to handle and much easy to operate. So Again, we have so many tanks worldwide. In many countries, it has in Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, all this having all tank system and canal systems. So we have to refurbish them, maintain them, and desilt in them, because with the time they have filled up with soil and the capacity had been gone down. So now what we should do, the investment, we can't build tanks. Now in Sri Lanka, actually everywhere we have built the tanks. So we have to now think of not only Sri Lanka, many other countries, this desiltation is a problem, siltation is a problem. So we have to think of desilting, refurbishment, and automation also. Automation, controlling the gates, controlling the water, release water, water audits, etc. can be automated. So the technology is available. Now GPS available, telecom communication systems are available. So these techniques has to come into water resource development, and sufficient control system had to be implemented to get the necessary benefit to preserve our valuable water resources. Then moving on to that, this is one of we don't have fresh water. Yes, true, but in some countries like Israel and India even having this seawater desalination plants. So they are operating about 18. This technique had been developed in 1950 in US, and now over 150 countries using this technique. So it is matter of cost, but it will come down with the technological improvements. So then the seawater desalination will be our next step in years to come. Then this was detailed very well detailed, and a lot of research had been done, and now increased water productivity. Increased water productivity means we get the output using 1 meter cube of water, how much we are getting. So we have to improve the water productivity. So for that, if we distribute, there is about 100 million poor farmers in the world. So if we provide them these water sprinkle systems like this micro irrigation system, if we improve the water use in the farming, agriculture, then actually considerable amount of water can be saved. Those are the future visions we have to think, because we can't produce water. It has to come. It has to come from the sky. So we can't do anything. So because of that, these are the options with us in future. Again, water losses. So now in some of the water lines, lot of water is leaking, and when they pump 100 meter cubes, they get sometimes 90 meter cubes at the end because of the leakages. So the pipes are sometimes not good, the joints are not good. That kind of problems is there with the present water supply mains. So that those can be actually avoided now. They are improved jointing systems. They are plastic pipes, etc., which is not going to affect due to corrosion, etc. So that kind of technologies also has to come into the water resource sector. Then wastewater treatment. This was this was, again, this is our present, we are having now examples, 10 years or 15 years back, we didn't thought of this, but now we have developed. 15 years ago, the cost and technology cost was high, technology was not there, but we are mankind, very, very prudent and very intelligent, so we can make things nicer with our experience. It needs time. So this wastewater treatment and reuse for agriculture and industries, this is our future. So we need to invest on this. We need to invent new methods. Then we are sure about. We can't produce. Yes, there is a scarcity, but we are meeting our challenge. We are not behind. We are meeting our challenge. So fortunately, the former presenter, she said we are having enough treated water for use in industrial purpose. That is a good sign. So these are kind of I would say our future water use water development techniques and technologies. So again, coming to the last slide, this is actually we have to have, we can't do anything. I'm very happy today because government sector top officers were here. We can talk here. We have the knowledge. Everybody have the knowledge, but we have understand the problem. We have found the solution, but we have to implement it. So government top officers were here. So we are very happy. They are aware of it. We are talking. They are listening. So they are getting the message. So they have to implement it. So they have to make the laws. So they have to pass the regulations. So that is also necessary for the existence of healthy water sector in future. There are a lot of challenges. Not only 1, 2, 3. It different from region to region, country to country. So this laws and regulations will play a major role in future water development, water resource development. So those are our future water resource development techniques, and we have identified them. We are working on them, and we are improving them. So we have to be happy. There are alarming messages coming from UN and reputed world organizations. They produce reports and they say this is happening in 2015, this will be the situation like that. Yes, that is good because we are working. We are given the message before it happens. So because of that, this kind of summits, this kind of conferences are there, so people are getting together, and they don't go and they don't take their foot backward, and they go forward. So that is a good indication. With that, we can have a hope. So thank you, everybody. Thank you very much once again. This is the end of my presentation.